Hello, I'm Sheryl McCarthy of the City University of New York. Welcome to One to One. Remember Eleanor Roosevelt, the most lionized First Lady in American history? She was a humanitarian, a feminist, an activist, a human rights crusader, and she served the worst meals in White House history. You'll find juicy tidbits like this in What She Ate: 6 Remarkable Women and the Food That Tells Their Stories. Author Laura Shapiro contends that every life has a food story. And in this fascinating book, she reveals what their food stories tell us about these interesting women. The book has just been published by Viking. Welcome. So what kinds of things does a person's food story tell us about them?
I think food tells us everything. I think you look down at that plate, you're going to see class, you're going to see gender, you're going to see social life, you're going to see cultural life, you're going to see economics, politics. Food, you know, it's the biggest business in the world. It touches all of us. Nobody's life is independent of food and food choices. That is where I think all the stories are.
So, I mean, you've written a number of food books, and I had some years ago, Judith Jones, another food writer, talking about a book that she wrote about the meals that she cooked and shared with her dog. Now, you've written about noteworthy women and their relationship to food. Why the impetus for writing, what was the impetus for writing this particular book?
Well, I had written about noteworthy food women. I'd written about Julia Child, for instance, or Fanny Farmer, who was the late 19th century cooking teacher at the Boston Cooking School. These are women who had big influence through their cooking. I started thinking about women who didn't have big influence. It seemed to me that you didn't have to be Julia Child to have a relationship with food that would mean something. Maybe it didn't mean something to the whole world, but it would be important in your own life because we all have a relationship with food. It's the first relationship we have. It's our first preoccupation. So I started to look at women who were interesting in themselves and try to find out what they ate and what I could make of the links between who they were and what they ate.
So let's look at some of the stories. Why Dorothy Wordsworth, the sister of William Wordsworth, the British poet? She died in 1855. What was interesting about her food story, or what was her food story?
Well, Dorothy Wordsworth, I found, had a food story that I could kind of divide into 3. The first act was the happiest, most blissful period of her life. She and her brother William, the great poet, are living in Dove Cottage, beautiful area of the Lake District in England. It's still a tourist attraction. And she's cooking for him and she adores him. She's making little rhubarb tarts. She's picking the apples from the trees and bringing them in for him. She's at the peak of her earthly happiness. Second act.
And there weren't a whole lot of things for women to do, to occupy themselves with at that time. And being a domestic, being a housekeeper, whether it's for your husband or for your brother, the poet, was one of them.
That was definitely going to be a big thing. And then to her, she would be kind of a handmaiden to the poetry itself. That was a big part of it. She would inspire him and help him. Second act, 25 years later, William has married. She's living in the household with him, but he has another life. She's the unmarried sister, which is a whole little role unto itself. During this period, she goes and starts keeping house for a nephew. It's a completely different thing. It's not the beautiful Lake District. It's not the wonderful poet. It's kind of a bleak coal mining area. But in her mind, she's trying to turn it back into Dove Cottage. And the food is very different from that beautiful Dove Cottage food. It's not this intimate food from her hand. They have a kind of frugal housekeeper who's plunking stuff on the plate. What they're plunking down is black pudding, which in those days, in that circumstance, it was a mess of blood and oatmeal. Rustic working class people ate it. Refined people like the Wordsworths were not having this for dinner, but there it was. The housekeeper thought it was a good idea. Dorothy Wordsworth, right on the heels of this moment in her life, became sick. She started a long period of dementia. She had always been strong and healthy. Now she's kind of an invalid.
And she got that.
Act 3, she's back home. She's being taken care of by the family. And she's in the very strong phases of dementia. And the way it's expressed is this craving for food. She's craving love and attention, and it's coming out as a demand for food. This is someone who has never demanded anything. She's always given over her life to taking care of other people. Now, dementia has kind of liberated something. She wants butter, and she asks for it loud and clear. So that was kind of the food trajectory of her life.
Dorothy's story seems to be as much about the limited roles that were available to women in the 19th century as about anything else. And
yes, she was clearly defined by what she could make out of the small world that she was given to live.
Rosa Lewis, another woman that you write about in the book. Now, I remember her from was it the Duchess of Duke Street
Yes.
on Masterpiece Theater?
Yes.
Why her story?
She's the only woman in the book who was actually professionally related to food. She was a caterer. She was born in a Cockney neighborhood of London in 1867. She grew up poor. She went out to work at the age of 12, became a scullery maid, and she cooked her way up the ladder. She learned French cooking, and she learned that the kind of lords and ladies, the rich, the nobles, even King Edward, would be interested in you if you were an exponent of this very fancy, elaborate, expensive French cooking that was a la mode at the time. So she learned this. She became a very sought-after caterer in England in those years.
Catered to all of the aristocratic
All the aristocrats.
ladies.
And she was a great favorite of the kings. She was flying high until World War I, when it all kind of collapsed. That whole social economic structure that had been built up in England during those great years of empire and all that, it's all collapsing. And Rosa Lewis came out the other end of it without the food. She was still herself. She felt like she was still at the top of the ladder, but she wasn't cooking anymore. You couldn't get the ingredients.
Right.
You couldn't get the huge kitchen staff. Everything had become simplified and cheaper. So her life kind of disintegrated around her. She thought it was her. It wasn't her. It was the food.
But food had been, and cooking had been her entree into the highest British society. I mean, she wasn't one of them, but she did. She didn't just cook for them. She socialized with them
Yes.
to a certain extent, and she was able to make a lot of money and function as an independent woman.
Yes.
In a time when women were highly dependent on men for their status in society. One of the most surprising revelations of the book was that of Eleanor Roosevelt. As I said, perhaps one of the most revered first ladies in history, who served some of the worst food in the history of the White House. What were White House meals like?
Eleanor, when they got to the White House, FDR asked her to take charge of the domestic side of the White House. This is a decision he must have rued a million times after that. She hired a housekeeper who was inept. She hired her because she liked her. She was a nice woman. She was a loyal Democrat. Eleanor, she needed help. It was the Depression. Eleanor puts her in this job and keeps her there, even though it's clear that she doesn't know what she's doing. So the food, among her other problems, Mrs. Nesbit had no culinary sense. She could cook for a family, but this is not a family. This is a big public place. It's like a hotel that's in the public eye at all times. So she's turning out the kind of ridiculous company cooking of the 30s and 40s. So it's things stuffed into patty shells. It's marshmallow salads. It's all this food that, as a matter of fact, might not have been bad if she had known enough to tell the cooks how to do it properly. But she didn't. What it really was bad cooking. People are writing home. They'll go to the White House for a meal. They'll write home right after. They'll say, "Loved FDR. He was so nice. Eleanor is great, but the food. And then they'll describe it, you know, flabby slices of cold gray mutton. Well, I have those menus. It was not mutton, it was lamb. It was lamb that had been so horribly overcooked and surrounded by the hideous boiled vegetables that were also overcooked. The food just got this terrible reputation.
Was this true for state dinners as well? Was the food just as bad?
State dinners, they could crank it up a little bit. Sometimes they brought in more help. Sometimes once Winston Churchill arrived unexpectedly during the war years, and FDR himself must have stepped in at that point and said, no fooling, this guy is important. And the cooking at that dinner was excellent. Somebody was in the kitchen who really took care of it. Normally, they just let it go.
Well, you said Eleanor, in general, was indifferent to food.
She was in the White House. That is to say, she was okay with serving this mediocre stuff. She, you know, her heart and her mind were on all the wonderful things she was doing as First Lady.
And also, she was trying to set this is the Depression.
Yes.
And she felt we should be eating, there should be simple meals and inexpensive meals. We shouldn't be dining lavishly while the rest of the country is having porridge, you know, for breakfast. So that was part of it.
Yeah, she felt that very strongly. The White House should not show this example of, you know, luxury living. And as I say, you could do economical meals and have them be good if somebody who knew about food was in the kitchen. That was really the problem. And the other thing was, FDR was a real foodie. He had been brought up with wonderful food. He loved good eating. Eleanor didn't want to feed that side of him. She liked his politics. She didn't like his taste for comfortable living, pretty blondes, expensive food. That put her off. He had been unfaithful years earlier. She never forgot that. She lived with him. She never really forgave it.
It was a form of revenge.
And her biographer has called this cooking ER's revenge. Absolutely that.
We're going to take a short break. Then we'll be back with author Laura Shapiro after this message. Welcome back to One to One. I'm Sheryl McCarthy, and I'm talking with Laura Shapiro, author of What She Ate: 6 Remarkable Women and the Food That Tells Their Stories. Eva Braun, Adolf Hitler's young mistress, and his wife on his final day. You write that the food story of the Third Reich was largely one of starvation.
That is certainly the image we all carry from everything we know about those years. The corpses and the deliberate hunger. Hitler starved people as a matter of course, not only in the concentration camps, but all the occupied territories.
Because Germany was basically taking the food from all of the occupied territories to feed the Germans, right?
Exactly. That was the whole point. That in many ways, it was a war about food in that area. Yes, Germany was supposed to expand and feed itself on the bounty of these occupied countries. So starvation is the food story of the Third Reich, but there are others. And the one I write about here is the food story of the Nazis themselves, the high-up Nazis who were sitting at Hitler's table with him. These people were not starving. They were eating very well. It's
sort of basic, hearty German food.
Yes, and in abundance. Nobody was going hungry there. And of course, the rules of rationing and all that, none of that applied around Hitler. They even had fresh fruits and vegetables because he had a greenhouse that they tended for him. So it was a bubble. They lived in a bubble that had no relation.
And lots of French champagne.
Yes, they're plundering the champagne from France, hand over fist. The second they get to France, they start moving this stuff out, drinking it there, and sending it back home to Germany. So champagne, all kinds of wines, and also champagne, it's flowing through the whole history of those years. It's available when nothing else is available to eat in Germany or to drink. It's like they always have access to wine and champagne. And among the high-up Nazis, the places where Eva Braun made her life, there's champagne basically at every meal.
Ironically, Hitler was a vegetarian, and Ava ate sparingly to preserve her girlish figure.
Yes, yes. Hitler's vegetarian diet was quite well known, and it was pretty disgusting. It's like a baked potato with linseed oil poured over it. When that came around, Ava, that really appalled her. This is the only thing about Hitler, apparently, that she objected to, was this vegetarian diet. Mm-hmm. She went along with everything else, and in her own way, as the kind of female presence at the table, she enabled it. She domesticated it. She cast it in the glow of her own kind of stereotypical femininity. She's very pretty, she's decorative, she says nothing, it's all chit-chat about movies and things. It enables the people sitting at that table to live, as I say, in this bubble where all those things happening outside, the death, the destruction, the chaos, the killing, it all can kind of go away.
But even in the concentration camps, I visited Auschwitz a few years ago. The commandant was eating, not that far away from the crematorium and the places, the housing areas where people were starving to death, was eating very well.
Yes.
In his family.
They were able to look at food as this happy, comfortable, comforting thing. If you read about food now, and we all do in all kinds of contexts, there's always one message. Food is love. Food brings us together. Food represents family and connectedness and all the good things in life. Well, it represented those things to Nazis too. They were able to sit down at that table, as you say, right next to the crematoria practically, and have this happy meal and talk to each other and feel like they're at home and this is family. Food exerted that strange power on them as well.
Barbara Pimm, the British writer, Food Story, seems to be about how in her writing, she debunked the myth that British food was terrible, which is a legend that exists to this day. And having been in England this past summer, I would still say it's not they're not going to win any medals for their food.
I've had some terrible British food in my time also, but actually if you go around to shops, and this has been true for decades, the raw ingredients, the beautiful bread and cheeses and things, all that stuff really has
bread was
always,
great. I had some great bread.
Yeah, that stuff has always been very good. The public cooking, a lot of the restaurants were terrible for many years, but not uniformly. Even as early as the 50s, there were good restaurants, but the stereotype remained. It was a kind of mark of your own culture and sophistication to sort of define all good cooking as French and all bad cooking as British. And that was certainly the reigning philosophy of Barbara Pimm's time. She didn't set out to change that stereotype. All she was doing was looking around her and using real life.
She wrote a lot about everyday food that her characters, Spencer ladies were feeding to the local vicar or
yes,
whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of that food was quite good. Mm-hmm. Not because she was, trying to rewrite history, but because that's what she saw and the way she herself cooked. So as I say about Barbara Pimm's novels, they're a kind of inadvertent revision of that history. She wasn't a food writer, she wasn't trying to be. But she was very interested in food because to her, it illuminated character, it illuminated situations, plots, and places. Mm-hmm. She put it everywhere because she just felt that when you look at that dish, you see who they were. It's really how I see the world. I love Barbara Pimm.
Helen Gurley Brown's Food Story is interesting because while she actually wrote a cookbook, she ate almost nothing. And I remember meeting her, I don't know I think it may have been her birthday, and she's wearing this size 2 pink Chanel suit. And she told me what she paid for it. And you're right that she felt her greatest accomplishment in life was getting David Brown to marry her, was being a wife. And while she claimed to do the wifely thing of cooking, it's possible that she really wasn't cooking anything. It was quite possible.
Food completely dismayed her and confused her. It was enemy territory for Helen Gurley Brown. All she wanted out of life was to stay thin forever.
And be married to David Brown.
And be married to David Brown. She saw those two things together. And she really felt that for a woman to succeed, that's what you had to do. You had to be young, sexy, and thin, and you had to be that way till you were 90 years old. And she pretty much felt that she had achieved that in life. So the things that she says about food, and she writes about food and talks about it in interviews all the time. It's a common theme. But it's full of contradictions, and you can't make sense of it. She'll say to this interviewer, well, I'm a wonderful cook. I cook all the time. I make every meal for my dear husband, David. She'll say to that interviewer, I never cook. If we have to, we'll have a lean cuisine at home, but really I'm not interested at all. She'll say to this one, I love pasta. I like it with cream and a little ham and peas. She'll say to this one, I eat only vitamin pills. I don't want to eat even when I'm hungry. I want to stay a little hungry because if you're ever full, then you should feel guilty. Well, she was a mess.
My favorite Helen Gurley Brown advice was that, you can have a hot fudge sundae if you want to. You just can't eat anything else on that day. Huh. But you can have your hot fudge sundae. And I've taken her advice sometimes. She actually wrote a cookbook, the Single Girls Cookbook. She was trying to, off of the success of Sex and the Single Girl. And the recipes veered from some gourmet dishes to some of the most god-awful meals, suburban mother-type meals of the 50s.
She really did. So she's the only person in the book of my 6 women who wrote a cookbook. Even Rosa Lewis, who was a professional cook, hardly left any recipes. So Helen Gurley Brown, who had this fear of food, actually produced a 400-page cookbook, which wasn't bad. Now, she didn't make up the recipes. She got them from a professional recipe writer.
But some of them were these, this like canned mushrooms, things you do with canned mushroom soups. And I don't know if she did I can't think, the green beans with onion rings, but there was that kind of
There was some, so it was a whole range. There was some very elaborate, quite ahead of its time, lovely cooking, and then there was kind of the worst of the 50s. It was this whole mix, but that's what her food sensibility was. She had no coherent eating life because she was so terrified of it. And then the prose in the book, which is what she was most proud of, was all this kind of patented Helen Gurley Brown prose with the sort of exclamation points in the italics and the chatting with the reader. The interesting thing about this book was that it was by no means a terrible cookbook. On the contrary, you really could cook from it.
Right.
It went nowhere. It sold a few copies and then it just died. People didn't believe in her
as a cook,
as the cook, as the person they wanted next to them in the kitchen.
Okay. I found the book interesting. And as I told you before, I'm not quite sure why. I mean, it was interesting to learn about, certainly about Eleanor Roosevelt and this horrible food that she was serving in the White House. But, I guess your take on women, what they ate and what they cooked as a reflection of the lives they were living. But anyway, it's an odd take, but a sort of oblique take, but I did find it interesting. What do you want readers to take from this book?
We're in this culinary binge at the moment in this country and really around the world. I'm talking about the internet life of food, Instagram and Pinterest and millions of food blogs, all these places where people are pushing their food lives out into the public.
And this is what I just cooked, and this is what I'm about to eat.
And here it is. It's fascinating to me. And I think what I would love people to do who have that bent, who are holding their phone up over their breakfast at this moment, don't just take that picture, talk about it. Write a little record of exactly what went into it. Tell us who you are and why the food came out exactly that way. And many food blogs do, of course, but I'm thinking about Instagram in particular. It's not just what it looks like, but
what it
how
means.
it came from
Yeah.
your kitchen. Just put that in there.
And
so
send it to
people
you
like
so
me-
you can write your next book.
Exactly.
You heard it here.
Yes.
Okay. I'm afraid we're out of time. I want to thank Laura Shapiro for joining me today. Her book, What She Ate, 6 Remarkable Women and the Food That Tells Their Stories, published by Viking, is available online and in stores now. For the City University of New York and 1 to 1, I'm Sheryl McCarthy. If there are any people you'd like to hear from or topics you'd like us to explore, please let us know. You can write to me at CUNY TV, 365 Fifth Avenue, New York, New York, 10016, or you can go to the website at cuny.tv and click on Contact Us. I look forward to hearing from you.